while I'm still compiling the updated list for a top 10 loadouts video for those asking for it after the Season 4 Reloaded meta shakeup, I want to take some time and talk about a pretty dang big leak that happened as of yesterday's Warzone update. Coming straight from the game files, we've learned about a pretty big opportunity here that we'll be seeing for Modern Warfare 2 potentially, as well as a bit of the future direction of Call of Duty in general per se. So as we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Do you like the sound of this new bonus, or you're hoping that maybe it doesn't come true? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below, but if you enjoy the video, you find it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, do be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare 2, and of course, we've got quite a bit here still for Warzone and Season 4 Reloaded content, but just wanted to chat with you guys about this as soon as we could. But for now, let's talk about these new leaks. So, as mentioned, this information came straight from the Warzone update 1.60 yesterday, the Season 4 Reloaded update. This kind of stuff always happens, it's kind of inevitable. You'll end up seeing stuff that is meant to be happening and being released later on down the line, but has to be there as a part of the build if it's either time gated for in that season, or if it's something even further out, it'll just have sort of fundamental baselines of that already in place as the sort of root of what's upcoming. Unless you have a game that doesn't have anyone peeping through the code, things like this won't ever be safe unless it's encrypted. But when it's time gated, simple messaging to display in-game like text and description of items, that's not going to be the case. And when you consider a game like Call of Duty with millions of players worldwide, the odds of having no one with knowledge of how to find this stuff and then also what they're looking for, being curious and peeping through that code, well, it's next to none. But the information comes from Reality UK as per usual with recent data mined reports, who went digging into said Season 4 Reloaded game files. There he found some interesting stuff in regards to upcoming content for Season 5, new events, and stuff we'll detail here shortly, but in this case in particular, the upcoming game experience. He found campaign early access available now listed in the descriptions of one of these strings of the Season 4 Reloaded game files with the prefix and scripting surrounding the root of WZ345. That breaking that down a little bit, WZ Warzone 3 Chapter 3 this year for Vanguard, and 45 being Season 4 Reloaded. And additional mentions of Cortez early access message. That being of course Project Cortez, the code name internal dev name of Modern Warfare 2. So holy bombshell, playing Modern Warfare 2 in some capacity early looks like it's gonna be a real thing. Now, there are a couple of variables that we do not have any answers just yet. Obviously, this denotes something coming, but it doesn't mention how much, and when. Now, one of the leading theories here, and what I think has already been sort of discussed a little bit on places like Charlie Intel, is that it's potentially another pre-order bonus of some kind, whether that be for the Vault Edition or for just your base editions overall. We don't quite know. We have kind of seen a precedent set beforehand in the past, and we'll mention that in just a second. But outside of that, I really don't know like how else that would be able to come to terms with anything, unless it's just like a random drop of, in place of the alpha, we end up getting some campaign early access. I don't think that I'd expect that, but I mean, I guess it is a possibility. But to me, one of the biggest questions that I've seen around here with this, and that have had people concerned that have seen this, is that will this be PlayStation exclusive? Immediately, I want to say no, because if it is something pre-order bonus wise, I mean, that would hopefully mean that it's marketed to all versions, all platforms. But also on the other side, if it's something like a random drop of an alpha, we have seen alphas be exclusive in the past. Now, given we haven't heard anything about an alpha outside of the initial reports a couple of months ago, I kind of want to take that 50-50 coin flip and say that it's not going to happen, but only time will tell. But where I want to kind of gravitate towards now, though, is the idea that maybe it's a pre-order bonus that's been previously suggested. I mean, we have seen this before as a pre-order slash pre-purchase option as well with Modern Warfare Remastered. And that's where it kind of is now another question mark in and of itself of, will it be PlayStation exclusive? Because Modern Warfare Remastered, that was a big selling point for a lot of people in the Infinite Warfare year. But it had a 30-day exclusive window for a playable early version of the campaign on PlayStation 4 as a pre-purchase incentive for only PlayStation users, both fulfilling contractual obligations, but also offering those players a long head start in terms of playing the experience for Modern Warfare Remastered. But disregarding the fact that that wasn't a new story at the time, and that everybody probably knew how that campaign went, that was also half a decade ago, almost 6 years at this point, come later in the year, and honestly, I don't know if that would hold up as a great example anymore, because in the past couple of years, we've seen a lot change. I mean, if you think about it, 30 days used to be the standard back when PlayStation first took over with the exclusivity agreements in PlayStation 3, and even all the way back into the original games when licensing rights with Microsoft and Xbox. 30 days was a standard, but it also hasn't been that way for years. Black Ops 4 in 2018 changed the exclusivity window from 30 days down to 7 days, where PlayStation users only had 7 days advantage of having that stuff available. Modern Warfare the year following changed things even more, with crossplay, cross-progression, DLC releases, offering content for free for all players at the same time. So in a matter of 2 years, we went from a 30-day window of exclusivity to a 0-day exclusivity, and everyone enjoyed everything all at once. Now, yes, of course, exclusives still have existed, but they've been getting fewer and fewer. Modern Warfare 2019 had an entire mode of Spec Ops Survival, that wave-based version of Spec Ops, a smaller subsection of the experience, built out and only available for PlayStation users for a whole year. There, of course, were a few unlocks and blueprints for missions exclusive, but outside of that, Black Ops Cold War is the next offering, where, again, Onslaught was a subdivision of the Zombies mode that was exclusive for a year, again, offering a few exclusive blueprints there also. But Vanguard, forgive me if I'm wrong, the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head is additional double XP events, offering another 24 hours for those that are on PlayStation ahead of a weekend of double XP, an extra Battle Pass XP bonus as well, and a couple of things for Party Up XP, if I'm not mistaken. So, functionally speaking, we don't have really anything that is available as a PlayStation exclusive at the moment. So with all of that in mind, I don't know that I'd see that being a PlayStation exclusive, and I also don't see it being something that's spoiled too far ahead of time, given that unlike Modern Warfare Remastered and the window that had of 30 days, this is a brand new story, showing off everything at that point. Weaponry-wise, key players, and I'd wager even more in the game files if players can get a hold of that. Even if it's a partitioned standalone download pack, that stuff can always happen. And for that reason, I'm kind of also disagreeing then with the interpretation of the game files, where people think this is going to be available as soon as it goes live. That notion is based upon the messaging of available now from the game files. It states campaign early access available now, but you have to consider the rest of the strings and others like it that go along with it. The root of that string of code, of course, points towards Season 4 Reloaded, but others, like Cortez now available, is a message that says that Modern Warfare 2 is now available, which would then be confirming that we'd have a game launch ahead of the October 28th release date, which we know that isn't going to be the case. So instead, I think we kind of have to remove ourselves from that Season 4 Reloaded prefix of that string and just realize that's the root of it when it was added in. Instead, that message will show up when the early access actually is available. And also for that reasoning, I'm not expecting it to act as an alpha or such as a random drop in Season 4 Reloaded, because again, if the logical argument is Season 4 Reloaded in that route means the early access is going to be coming immediately, that Season 4 Reloaded route would then have to mean that Modern Warfare 2 would also launch ahead of the October 28th launch. And to go a step further, there's also strings here in the game files that denote Warzone 2 now available with that same Season 4 Reloaded prefix. And that launching in Season 4 Reloaded, while we of course don't even have Modern Warfare 2 yet, while that's also rumored to be coming shortly thereafter the launch of Modern Warfare 2, that's not going to happen. So for me, I definitely don't expect that, not even like a singular mission format, but I'd love to be wrong. Instead, I kind of assume that this, if it does end up being some sort of bonus of some kind, would launch maybe a few days ahead of the launch of Modern Warfare 2, maybe like a week tops, just so that they keep everything under wraps and we don't have the whole game leaking months in advance, or I should say more of it already leaking months in advance, because, well, Warzone Mobile decided it wanted to stir the pot already. Now, that said, that is the big thing here with this. A couple of other additional things is that we saw mention of launching the Call of Duty HQ, now listed in the game files here for Warzone, which that's been long rumored that we'd see a sort of hub for everything, but I'm curious the functional purpose of it. I mean, we have BNet on PC that kind of can launch into various different games. That's essentially your dashboard on console as well, but like, if you're gonna boot into an HQ, there has to be something more than just various different blades for games that we see currently in the Warzone experience, the Vanguard experience, the Black Ops Cold War experience at the main menu where it can cross-launch stuff, right? I mean, otherwise you just kind of are booting an application that doesn't really need to be there. So very curious to learn more about that in particular, but right now there just really doesn't seem to be any more information other than we know it's coming. That's been long rumored for quite some time. I think it was that some of the UX designers from Hulu or Disney Plus came to work on the game to set this up as well. So curious to see how that all works out, but just know that. And then one other interesting thing is that it was mentioned in the game files of Warzone Legacy. So it doesn't seem like we'll be calling Warzone 1 and 2 exactly what we're calling it here at this point, but maybe in the future we may just still be calling it Warzone and then referring to the past experience that we've had the last 2.5, almost 3 years now going into this whenever it launches, as Warzone Legacy. So a little bit more there to the semantics of all of it, but interesting stuff no less to come out of the Season 4 Reloaded update. A lot more than honestly I expected, but that said, that is what we're going to call it. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of this year? Are you hoping to see some campaign early access for Modern Warfare 2, and when would you like to see it? Would you like to see it in the next month or so here between the Season 4 Reloaded launch and the Season 5 launch, or would you hope it's something that's reserved a little closer to launch, or would you not want to see it at all? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts below, but if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Modern Warfare 2, and anything COD related. But for now, that's what we're going to call it. Thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.